In this section, the thing that you're going to need to be able to perform are the counting principles that we learned through the class. Now, the fundamental counting principle only relies on multiplication. That's generally not a problem for students on the home screen, so I won't cover that. But I would like to make sure you understand how to use combinations, permutations, and possibly even factorials as well on your calculator, and give you some tips on invalid input and how to determine that as well. All right, so when we need to do these types of operations, we need to go under the math menu. So usually stuff in this class is all under the stat menu, but this time we need to press the math button here, and this menu here, PRB, all the way at the end. There's some additional things that we can do with probabilities that the calculator will let us take advantage of. In particular, things that we need, NPR for the number of permutations of n objects taken r at a time, NCR for combinations, and then the exclamation next for factorials. Now, these work a little bit differently in that you generally will put the number that you want to use first on the home screen, and then go back and pull the function from the menu here. So what I'll do is I'll quit out of here, and I think I'll just clear that for simplicity. And let's say we want to do a factorial first. So let's say we want 9 factorial. All right, so on the home screen, I really could just do 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 all the way down to 1. That would be fine, but it would take a little while to type that in. So if I hit the math key, slide over to PRB and down to the exclamation point, that will give me a factorial, and it'll look just like it looks in the notation on the homework in the textbook, and the calculator knows what to do with that. So it will do 9 times 8 times 7 and so forth down to 1. So that's how we do a factorial. Now, when it comes to factorials, these numbers get very large very quickly. So if you try and do a number like 25 factorial, for instance, so I'll just go back and get that factorial and press enter. Here's what I end up with. I end up with a number that's so large that, or it has so many integers or digits in the value that it can't display it on screen. So the calculator switches to scientific notation. So the answer is not 1.551 and these other decimals, obviously. It's more like, in scientific notation, 1.551 times 10 to the 25th power. So that means that decimal place moves over 25 spots, giving us a lot of digits in this value. But this is all it's able to display for us. So just pay attention. Sometimes you end up with numbers that large when you're doing counting problems, and that's what we would do. All right, so I'll clear this and clear the home screen. Let's do a permutation. So permutations are similar in that you need to put some values on the home screen first and then go get the function. So generally when you do a permutation, let's say we have 23 objects and we want to take 5 at a time, okay? So we would put the 23 on the home screen first, then go get the function NPR from the probability submenu, and then we would put the, I think I said 5? I'll go with 5. Anyway, you'll use what's in your homework, obviously, but for this example, this is what we'll use. So 23 objects taken 5 at a time using permutations. The calculator knows that formula that has the factorials and whatnot in it from your textbook, and it will just plug into that and provide the final answer, okay? And again, these can get very large and might switch into scientific notation if it gets too large. Now, a combination is similar. You put the value of n first, and what it's trying to do, just so you know, is it's trying to make it look like the notation in the textbook. So you have the 23 subscripted next to the value of the capital P, and then the 5 subscripted afterward. That's what it's trying to do. But anyway, combination is similar. 23 first, then go over to the PRB menu, down to NCR, and then whatever the value of R is. And when you press enter, it will make that calculation and give you the answer there. And like I said before, it knows the formulas for these based off of the factorials. There's no need for you to try and do these by hand. You just need to learn how to do them in the calculator. That's perfectly fine.